Hello, this is cybersecurity expert Reginald Andre with Arc Solvers, the number one cybersecurity company in South Florida. And with this holiday season coming, we are hearing from a lot of our customers that they're doing a lot more transaction in credit cards, as well as because of the pandemic, there are less in-person transaction and happening, and everything is basically happening online. So what we wanted to do today, no matter what industry you are in, but specifically in the property management, condominium businesses, the developers and construction, we wanted to create some tips that you should follow in your business to ensure that your systems are not susceptible to hackers getting into your computers, getting into your systems, and taking the credit card numbers. So again, even if you're retail, even if you're online, and especially if you don't take credit cards too often, but you take it enough, you're definitely going to want to listen to this video where we're going to be talking about how to protect your business from getting hacked and then them stealing your clients' credit cards. So the first thing that you want to do is you never want to accept credit cards by email. This is something that we see a lot, and unfortunately, when we see it, it's too late because what happens is if a hacker one day gets information in that email account. So if your email account one day gets hacked, the hackers have tools that they're going to use, and they're going to be able to read all of those information, all of that information in the emails, and they're going to be able to pull the credit card numbers. They're going to be able to pull the expiration dates, driver license information. So in addition to that, it is actually not safe to send an email from one person to another person, especially with credit card information, because when you send out an email from point A to point B, technically, yes, there's security around it, but there are ways around it for someone in the middle to actually read those emails. And if it has information about credit cards, well, you have a big problem because now that person can see the credit card. So always advise your customers never to send out emails with the credit card numbers, and you can even set up things in your email system where if it detects that there's a credit card number in the file, so let's just say Visa always starts with 4635, and if it sees that there's those patterns of numbers that is for a credit card, they will actually block that email and send an email back to the client or back to the person who's sending it to your company that says, hey, we're sorry, but we don't accept emails like this. It seems that there's a credit card number. Please go ahead and resend it, but fix that issue. And likewise, you don't want your employees sending their credit card numbers over the internet. And you can also set up filters in place where an employee is sending out a credit card number via email, it will actually block that employee from sending it out. The next thing that you want to do to mitigate your risk, because that's what it's all about. As we've seen a lot of these cybersecurity stories, people are getting hacked left and right. And what you want to do is you want to minimize your risk. So the second thing that you want to do is you want to have a portal. And usually that's with your merchant company. And when it's time for a client to pay a bill, you want to just be able to send the link to the client and have them put in their credit card numbers in their computers. Because if their systems got hacked, it's not you that's going to be liable. It's going to be the merchant that's going to get liable. And if the customer has an issue with their computer, and when they're putting in the credit card number into their computer and they get hacked, the customer, well, that's all on them because it was their computer. But now, if you are putting a customer sending you their credit card number and you're typing it in, you're now, and that computer has an issue, that computer has a compromise where a hacker is watching all of the digits, there's a keylogger software on that machine, well, now you're going to be liable because you're the one who's entering the information. Also, there is something where if for whatever reason you do have to take that credit card over the phone, a lot of times Edge, which is the web browser, or Google Chrome, what they like to do to make things easy is they like to remember the credit card number. And that is something you should definitely not do. You should just make sure that your staff who's taking this credit card number, they choose the option not to remember the credit card. A lot of times also I've seen where staff members will take the credit card number, put it in a sticky note, right? Well, okay, fine. If you're going to put it in the sticky note, let's be realistic. Don't just take the sticky note and put it in the trash. Make sure that sticky notes get shredded. Don't just rip it up once or twice, because you never know who's doing a dumpster dive outside and can just easily tape it back up and be able to put two and two together and see that it was a credit card number. So if you must collect the credit card information, and your employee is writing it down because maybe they're busy and they just write down the credit card number, whatever they're putting that on, make sure that it's shredded. The next thing is reoccurring payments. I remember there was one customer that they had a whole spreadsheet and all of their accounts, and it had the customer's name, it had the date of when a payment should go through, it had the dollar amount, and every couple of days the office manager would go through this Excel spreadsheet and basically copy and paste the account number, copy and paste the credit card number. And it was crazy because you essentially had an Excel spreadsheet with all of the client's personal information for credit cards and ACH information. So that's a big no-no. Don't hold that information. QuickBooks, Visa, PayPal, all of them have ways where every month it can automatically grab that amount from the client's bank account. And that way, again, you put the liability on Visa, you put the liability on QuickBooks to ensure that they are securely connecting to your client's banking information and taking that. And the last prevention that I want to mention, and if you haven't already, please go ahead and please like and subscribe our page, so that way, A, we know that you enjoy what you're listening to, and B, when we do go online, you are alerted for it. And you don't want to have your Wi-Fi on the same network. So when your customers come into your office and they ask you for the Wi-Fi code, is that the same Wi-Fi that your employee who's taking that credit card over the phone, is that the same network? Or if you have like a terminal where you're swiping, right? I've seen a lot of the condominiums that we do work for, they now have these Square devices, but the Square device is on the same network as the public device that a resident guest would go on. Well, that should not be on the same network. And don't think, oh, just because I'm using a company like Square, a company like QuickBooks to take these transactions is secure, because bad guys do have a way to actually see that information before it goes into the terminal, because they're watching, they're monitoring the network and they're seeing what's going on. So you want to be able to segment those two things, so that way if there is a breach, and or if there's someone that's on the public network and they are watching all of the information on the on that public network, it won't matter because all the credit cards are on the internal network. So wanted to just give you those 5 tips of how to protect your business. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're in the retail where every day you're just taking transactions, or if you just, like, a lot of our construction companies where they may just take a credit card maybe once every couple of days, because most of the time they're doing wires or they're just waiting for the checks to come. You definitely want to apply these because and educate your staff. That's the most important thing, is educating your staff, because that is usually the weakest link. So we'll see you tomorrow as we continue the topics of how to protect your business from hackers during the holiday seasons.